Hello, delegates. Let me use this opportunity to welcome all of you that were able to make it there to Japan. Unfortunately for me, my trip could not be possible. So, good day to you all. My name is Ibrahim Mohammed Magami, and I would like to share with you this piece of research we were able to carry out. Though the research was a very bulky one, but we decided to dissect one of the fragments to share with you in this annual IFO conference. The title of the research is Awareness of Fish Depletion, Fishing Practices of River Rima and Kware Lake. You see, generally, fishing is actually a very old tradition. Fishing and hunting have been practiced by man since he became civilized. In Nigeria particularly, you find that fisheries can be categorized into three. And artisanal fisheries has covered about 85%, while industrial fishing has covered about 14%. Only 1% is left for cultured fish, which is being practiced in aquacultural farms. Now, that's according to the Nigerian Ministry of Fisheries in 2005. Now, you see, this is just to tell you that while fishing is popular in Nigeria, but I'm sure it's not only in Nigeria. Wild fishing is actually the most popular and dominant kind of fishing all over the world. Now, while for fish depletion is actually a condition whereby fish can be removed from aquatic ecosystem. Particularly, overfishing do actually influence much of this condition of fish depletion, especially when fisheries laws are not being implemented and are not being respected and are not being observed in an aquatic ecosystem. Even though most of these fishermen just go to fish or go to water bodies, catch fish, they don't mind whether they are small, they are adults, and they can use any kind of fishing gear such as nets. There are even nets that can catch fingerling, juvenile, and the worst part of it that this fisherman doesn't return the bycatch. So, in a nutshell, all these kind of practices can actually lead to fish depletion, and sometimes it can even lead to fish extinction to some species. That's for fish depletion. Then fisheries is actually a kind of practices that can vary from one region to another. Globally, we know net is one of the most popular fishing gear in the world fishing, particularly to the local people or people in the rural areas, because net is very cheap, it's not expensive, and it's common. You can find it in many places. While some people even use hooks. In my own area, sometimes you find that even the local fishermen even use calabash. They use even calabash to swim and fish. So generally, actually, fish practices can vary from one region to another. As it is in other countries, you find that if you come to Nigeria, you find it different, particularly in rural areas. So the aim of this paper actually is to evaluate the awareness of fish depletion and also to study the fishing practices between River Rima and Kware Lake. All these are located in Sokoto State, Nigeria. Now, the methodology we applied was this. Actually, there are two study areas, that is the River Rima and Kware Lake. The River Rima is just 1 kilometer away from Usman Danfodio University. That's the institution I'm working here. While Kware Lake is just 10 kilometers away from the university. So in a nutshell, the university is at the middle, while River Rima is this side, just 1 kilometer, while Kware Lake is 10 kilometers away from the university. So this is how the study areas are interrelated, and that is why we decided to study this particular research with the two study areas. Now, we actually use a structured questionnaire, and this is our reason for using structured questionnaire. You see, when you use structured questionnaire, you have control over the kind of responses the respondent can be able to give, because you give them multiple choice to choose, you give them even maybe just two choices to choose, unlike the unstructured questionnaire. In the case of unstructured questionnaire, you find that the respondent have total control on the kind of response he gives. So the disadvantage of using unstructured questionnaire is that you find that you end up in having a very bulky data that can be even confusing sometimes in trying to organize and analyze. While in the other side, which is the structured questionnaire, which we use actually, is very easy to organize and very also simple to analyze statistically. So this is actually the reasons why we decided to use structured questionnaire. Yeah, at the same time, we presented our results in tables, and we summarized the results as follows. 1. On the awareness of fish depletion, what we do found is that at River Rima, the awareness of fish depletion is 100% not aware. That's the fishermen around River Rima are 100% of them. They are not aware of anything like fish depletion. The worst part of this is the same thing in Kware Lake. Then for awareness of its effect, that's the fish depletion effect, that is its consequences, we found that at River Rima, 10% of them said they are aware that yes, there is consequences. While on the other hand, Kware Lake, 0% of them said they are aware. That's to say they are not, all of them also are not aware of any consequences. Now, what we're able to deduct from these differences between River Rima and Kware Lake is that the fishermen around River Rima are very close to the university. So they interact with allies, educated people. Because what really happened is that staff of the university, the students, since the university has a lot of students, postgraduate students and undergraduate students pass through the bridge, which is the river. So sometimes they stop there and buy all these fish that are being captured from the river. So we believe and observe that the fishermen in River Rima tend to be more civilized compared to that of Kware Lake, because they interact with allies. So we don't believe actually this 10% of them that say they are aware of the consequences. But what we do found, or what we do analyze, is that they are trying to protect themselves from not being known. Because if you observe, the first question was, are they aware of fish depletion? They said no. So they don't want to submit anything they don't know, while they are trying to prove that they are civilized. So this is actually what we deduct from such differences between Kware Lake and River Rima. Then on the choice of fish, species to catch, we learned that in River Rima, 50% of them actually have a choice of the kind of fish species they prefer to catch. Because this is because for example, maybe if people prefer to buy catfish, that's Clarigraphinus, then they tend to catch it. There are many that would prefer to catch it because people do buy it. So this is actually one of their reasons. While on the other hand, Kware Lake, only 30% said they have particular choice on the kind of species they prefer to catch. Then on the purpose of fishing, that's whether it's for selling, for feeding the family, or for selling and feeding the family, we learned that in River Rima, 30% of them, they are only fishing to sell. They don't actually fish to also feed their family. Then at the same time in River Rima, 10% of them said they are only fishing to feed the family. In other words, if in other words, the kind of fishermen, what we do find is actually that there are also farmers around. There are farmers around the riverine area. So that's not only the kind of occupation, the practice. Then, the majority of the percentage are which is 60% of them, they are artisanal fishermen. They sell, at the same time they feed their family. So these are the major fishermen found in that area, and they are actually realistic. That is the only business they practice there.